Welcome back to the garage, gang. It's Wednesday night, the lights are on, and it's time for your nightly market recap. And of course, you already know who's holding the wheel. It's me, your man with a plan, Avatar John. Today was pure contradiction. Half the market limping, half the market flying. Bitcoin's breathing again after yesterday's wreck, and stocks are trying to remember what green looks like. Then came the headlines. Trump saying the US will become the Bitcoin superpower and global crypto capital. Half the room cheering, half pretending they didn't just FOMO a wallet download. And across the map, Cambodia drops its own bombshell, locking in a deal to store gold with China. That's not a trade. That's geopolitics flexing on the blockchain era. So yeah, it's been a weird one. Recovery on the charts, politics in the spotlight, and everyone asking the same question. Is this a comeback or just the calm before another skid? But you already know why you're here. You want the truth, the torque, the plays? Smash that like, hit follow, and share it with your fellow degens, because we're building this channel one trader, one believer, one warrior at a time. The garage doesn't chase headlines. We write them. Let's rip it. Screens are greener, but don't mistake pulse for power. We're not healed. We're just upright after a knockout. Bitcoin clawed back above 106,000. Reflex, not conviction. Ethereum north of 3570. Short covering, not fresh money. Solana looks the strongest. Quiet inflows, steady grind, big wallets easing back in. Crypto's catching air again, but the atmosphere's still thin. And across TradFi, the suits are strutting around like everything's fine. Fresh ties, fake smiles, calling us healthy rotation. That's Wall Street's favorite trick. Spray paint the dents and call it a rally. For the pros, 10-year yields finally cooled just enough for equities to gasp for air. The cost of money's off the red light. Credit spreads stopped widening, so the bond market panic lights dimmed. The liquidity engine's idling instead of stalling, but it's still leaking oil. Flipped off, but that's optics. Fear just got a rebrand. We're still in risk off. It's just airbrushed. The blood's been mopped up, but the stains remain. The tape's gray now, not red. And gray is where drivers fall asleep before the next hit. And just in case that went over your head, here's the straight talk. The market's a car that overheated yesterday. It cooled down, but nothing's fixed. The engine's still groaning under the hood. Those 10-year yields, that's your temp gauge. Still hot. Credit spreads, that's the distance between cars on the freeway. Last week they were bumper to bumper. Now there's a few feet of space. The smell of burned rubber still in the air. That panic switch they brag about, that's Wall Street pulling the fuse so the warning light turns off. They didn't fix the issue. They just hid the signal. When they say risk off easing to caution, translate it to we're still scared. We just put on better suits. Fear doesn't die. It just changes clothes. Right now, the market's not bleeding. It's bruised. It looks calm because they wiped the hood clean. But under the frame, bolts are still rattling loose. That gray zone, neither crash nor rally, is when drivers relax and hit black ice. Crypto's the wild card, the street racer that hit the barrier yesterday and is already revving again. Bitcoin testing grip, ETH catching traction, Solana burning quietly in the fast lane. TradFi's pretending the storm's over. Crypto's already racing through puddles. Friday's jobs report is the next corner. If it prints hot, yields spike, tech fishtails, and we spin again. If it's soft, yields dip, crypto catches wind, and we're flying into the weekend. So yeah, today's a bounce, not salvation. The car's upright, but the road's still slick. One bad headline, one wrong tweet, one surprise print, and we're sideways before you can even grab the wheel. That's why the garage stays cold and focused. No autopilot. No emotion, no guessing. You drive what's in front of you. Right now, that's momentum trying to turn into traction. Crypto and TradFi are breathing the same air again. One side pretending, the other adapting. That's the split between suits and soldiers. The suits fake control. The soldiers build engines that run on volatility. Stay alert. Awareness wins races. Because in this market, blink once and someone else takes your lane. All right, Garage Gang, listen up. The markets might be cooling down, but today's headlines were absolute fire. This wasn't background noise. This was the sound of power colliding at full speed. First on the mic, President Trump. He steps up and says it clear as day. The United States will be the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world, and the undisputed leader in artificial intelligence. That's not a campaign promise. That's a declaration of war on global tech dominance. He's not talking regulation. He's talking empire building. He's saying America's back behind the wheel, and we're not coasting, we're gunning it. You could feel that ripple through the markets instantly. Bitcoin lit up green. Altcoins twitched back to life. For a moment, it looked like optimism was back in style. But before that fire could settle, the counterpunch landed. And it didn't come from a politician. It came from the architect of AI itself, Enter Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, the godfather of chips, the man whose hardware powers every single AI model worth mentioning. He doesn't do sound bites. He drops truth bombs. And what does he say? China will win the AI race. Let me say that again so it sinks in. The CEO of NVIDIA, the company that is AI infrastructure, just said America's not winning. That's not a headline. That's a shot across Washington's bow. You've got the president claiming victory and the man building the engine saying, boss, we're already getting smoked. Trump's selling hope. Huang's delivering diagnostics. And in the garage, we trust the guy holding the wrench, not the one holding the microphone. This is the split right here. Trump's playing to the crowd. Huang's reading the telemetry. One's in a suit talking policy, the other's in a lab coat calculating horsepower. And what does it mean? It means the guy who sells the engines to both teams just told you the other driver's car is faster. That's not disrespect. That's reality. Because when it comes to AI, talk doesn't move the scoreboard. Compute does. And compute right now is China heavy. They've got more chips, more engineers, more hours behind the wheel. So while America's out here announcing dominance, China's out there executing it. That's the quiet fear echoing through every boardroom tonight. The engineers aren't arguing, they're nodding. And just when the smoke started to clear, boom, the third headline drops. Charles Schwab CEO Rick Wurster, a man managing $7 trillion, announces that by 2026, Schwab will roll out crypto trading. Yeah, the same old money firm that once laughed at Bitcoin is now wiring a blockchain on-ramp for its clients. That's not progress, that's capitulation. That's Wall Street saying, all right, fine, the future's already here. Let's make some money off it. This is the power shift in real time. The president says America will lead. The AI king says China already is. And the banks, they're saying whichever side wins, we'll trade the hell out of it. That's the real alignment of power. Politicians sell belief, builders sell truth, and bankers sell access. It's not East versus West anymore. It's talk versus technology. The side that understands AI, chips, and crypto doesn't need permission. They just need bandwidth. And that's why this is so explosive, because when the future is being built in real time, every speech, every deal, every silicon wafer matters. So while Trump's waving the flag, Huang's building the machine, and Schwab's making sure they get paid either way. That's not noise. That's the sound of the old world merging with the new. And in the garage, we don't watch it happen. We tune up the engines and get ready to race it. Now hold your lane. Trump's out there talking like a heavyweight champ, telling the world America leads the future. Then Jensen Huang, the man who builds the engines that make that future even possible, steps up and says, China will win the AI race. That's not politics. That's physics. That's horsepower versus headlines. And right now, the guy who designs the hardware is looking straight at the scoreboard and saying, we're not ahead. We're behind. That's the moment when every serious trader, builder, and operator in the world looked up and realized the people giving speeches aren't the ones building the future anymore. Google moves first, and they don't whisper, they roar. Their Gemini system just learned to build entire presentations from one sentence. You type, make me a deck on product strategy, and it spits out 30 perfect slides. Polished layout, transitions, bullet points that sound like they came from a TED Talk. You say add visuals or make it cleaner, and it does it instantly. That's not a productivity feature. That's a replacement protocol. Google didn't create a tool. They created a terminator for entry-level work. They're not saving time. They're deleting jobs. This is the part people don't get. It's not the coders losing their seats first. It's the middle. The marketers, the coordinators, the note takers, the people who thought their degrees were bulletproof. Gone. Because AI doesn't care about your GPA. It just cares if it can do it faster. This is when I keep saying, AI isn't helping you work smarter. AI is showing your boss they don't need you anymore. Then, while the office crowd's panicking, two ex-Meta engineers walk out of the shadows and say, screw the screens. Let's build something people wear. They call it Sandbar. Their first shot, a sleek AI smart ring called Stream. You talk, it listens. You whisper, it acts. You control your music, tape notes, issue commands, all without touching a phone. That's not a gadget. That's an implant disguised as an accessory. The phone was the leash. The ring is the lock. They're calling it ambient computing. I call it total integration. This is how it starts. They make it shiny, convenient, sexy. And then one day, you realize you're not wearing technology. Technology's wearing you. Meanwhile, Google's looking up and saying, fine, if Earth's not enough, let's build data centers in space. Project Suncatcher, solar-powered orbital AI facilities running 24/7 in constant sunlight. No grid, no downtime, no limits. Let that sink in. They're literally launching the cloud into orbit. They've gone from controlling your screen to controlling the sky. And the politicians are still arguing about energy policy while engineers are strapping supercomputers to rockets. That's what domination looks like: quiet, efficient, and inevitable. You don't hear it until it's already above you. Then OpenAI shows up and says, "Entertainment's ours now." Their Sora video generator drops on Android. 7 countries, millions of downloads overnight. You record nothing, and it creates a full cinematic version of you doing whatever you want. Surfing, dancing, skydiving. You don't even have to live your life anymore. AI will do it for you. Reality's no longer real. It's editable. People aren't posting their lives. They're posting versions of themselves they've never been. That's not content creation. That's identity automation. And right as all that's happening, Amazon starts throwing punches at Perplexity, sends a cease and desist over their Comet shopping bot for not playing by the rules. That's code for, we don't care who wins, as long as we're still the toll booth. Think about that. AI bots fighting each other over who gets to sell you toothpaste. Machines suing machines while you're still trying to get a raise. Here's what's really happening right in front of your eyes. Google's deleting human labor. Sandbar's deleting devices. Google again's deleting gravity. OpenAI's deleting authenticity. Amazon's trying not to get deleted altogether. That's not innovation. That's total convergence. The machines are taking over the mundane, the meaningful, and the mechanical all at once. You're not living in the AI era. You're living in the automation of everything. And most people, they're too busy scrolling to even notice the wall shifting. They think it's progress. It's not. It's control. AI isn't coming for you. It's coming through you. Your data, your habits, your decisions, all being trained into its bloodstream. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's right now, hiding behind convenience. And while everyone's arguing about who's winning, the truth is the same everywhere. The machines are already driving the car. You're either in control of it or strapped in the passenger seat watching the world change. This is where it gets wild. Garage gang, the machines aren't just learning anymore. They're competing, and competition is where things evolve. Billions of dollars are pouring into the collision between AI and gaming. Names like CapCap, Wolf Games, Mythic AI, Pixelverse. They're not just building entertainment. They're building training grounds. Every game's a simulation. Every player's a data point. Every move feeds the machine. We used to play games to escape reality. Now the games are training AIs to recreate it. Every reflex, every hesitation, every decision you make, it's studying you, learning your patterns, your impulses, your emotions. That's not just gaming anymore. That's behavioral data acquisition disguised as fun. And the tokens tied to it, TAO, Render, Gala, IMX, they're not meme coins. They're infrastructure coins. They're the grease on the gears of this new digital empire. Real users, real volume, real growth. This isn't the casino phase. This is the construction phase. Gaming's become the Trojan horse for machine learning. While you're shooting pixels, AI's learning psychology. It's figuring out what you'll buy, how you'll move, when you'll quit, and most importantly, how to beat you. The suits on Wall Street can't even see it. They still think it's tech entertainment, but the garage knows better. This isn't Fortnite. This is feedback. Every click, every win, every loss. It's feeding an algorithm that doesn't sleep. AI is no longer practicing, it's performing. And while you're celebrating innovation, the machine's training to replace you at everything that requires instinct. This is how it learns faster than us, by making us the content. That's what's happening right now in front of your face. The world's not turning into the Matrix. We're building it ourselves, one app download at a time. And here's the truth no one's brave enough to say. The future is not a competition between humans and AI anymore. It's a merger. The humans who adapt will own the new world. The ones who don't will be logged out of it. So when you hear that AI is the future, understand what that really means. It's not something that's coming. It's something that's already writing the rules. And in this race, there's no pit stop, no pause, no rewind. You either learn to drive it or it drives through you. The track's hot, the lights are green, and the garage doesn't spectate. We compete. This is the new frontier. All right, garage gang, if you've been paying attention, you can feel it. That hum under your feet, that's not the market recovering. That's the world rebooting. AI isn't coming anymore. It's already here, writing the rules while most people are still asking for the Wi-Fi password. You can see it plain as day. Everywhere you look, reality's shifting, and nobody's reacting fast enough. They're walking through history like it's a shopping mall, thinking, oh wow, meet gadget, while the foundations of work, privacy, and identity are being rewritten in real time. Look around. The average person's clapping for innovation and doesn't even realize that innovation just replaced them. The suits are bragging about productivity while quietly laying off entire departments. Teachers are grading essays that ChatGPT wrote. Designers are competing with code. And influencers, half of them aren't even real anymore. This isn't a phase. This is the power shift of the century. What we're seeing is the end of the old economy, where effort equaled reward, and the birth of a new one, where data equals dominance. If you own the compute, the bandwidth, and the algorithm, you own reality itself. That's what people miss when they scroll past the headlines. They think AI is just another app. It's not an app. It's the operating system of civilization. Now, here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. We built this. Every selfie, every search, every click, that was fuel for the machine. We didn't feed it our information. We fed it our behavior, and it learned everything. It knows what you buy before you do. It knows what scares you. It knows what keeps you scrolling. That's not paranoia. That's analytics at scale. AI isn't watching the world. It's modeling it. It's running endless simulations of us, figuring out what we'll do next so it can sell it to us before we even ask. Here's the brutal reality. We are living through the automation of humanity. The world doesn't need more labor. It needs more computation. Factories are digital. Warehouses are neural networks. And every decision you make is data on a server somewhere, refining a model that's learning to outperform you. This is why the garage doesn't panic. We prepare. We don't cry about the future. We build engines that can race it. Because if you want to survive this next era, you don't need a degree. You need adaptability. You need to understand the system better than the people running it. So what the hell is happening right in front of our eyes? Everything, work, identity, privacy, even free will, all getting rewritten in the same line of code. The world's moving faster than education, regulation, or comprehension can keep up. It's not science fiction anymore. It's economics, politics, and psychology all fusing into one algorithmic empire. You can either be part of the code or buried under it. That's the awakening. The comfort zone's gone. The illusion's dead. And the ones who see it, the ones here in the garage, we're not spectators anymore. We're the resistance. We're the builders. We're the ones who don't just survive disruption. We profit from it. The lights are on, the track's clear, and the future's no longer waiting for anyone. So wake up, grab the wheel, because this ride doesn't slow down. It only gets faster. All right, Garage Gang, we're here. Everyone's favorite lane. The one that matters. The money section. And here he comes. The man himself. Triple X. You know what time it is. The rest of the world can talk news, politics, and power. But this lane? This is where the rubber meets the road. Where discipline eats emotion. And money either moves for you or against you. It's a hot night at the area hotel and casino. The place is alive. Slot lights flashing like a lightning storm, the floor vibrating with noise, and the smell of money, cigars, and ambition in the air. Everyone's chasing a win. The dealers are calling bets, the tourists are shouting, and that waitress? Yeah, she looks like she just walked straight out of a movie. Perfect hair, red lipstick, eyes that could sell chaos to a monk. The vibe is electric. But Triple X, he's not here for the lights. He's here to eat. He's got that calm energy. Hoodie up, laptop open, screens glowing. 2 windows, a dozen tabs, all pulsing charts. One for Solana, one for ETH, one for those fast, dangerous little plays that nobody else can catch. The crowd upstairs is gambling. Triple X is calculating. He's scanning the data like a sniper scopes a TARDIS. Liquidity maps, stablecoin inflows, on-chain rotation, reading the market like it's breathing in slow motion. Everyone else sees noise. He sees rhythm. He's not chasing. He's waiting. He's stalking volatility, like a predator that already knows the outcome. The floor's chaos, but his booth feels like another planet. Quiet, controlled, focused. This is the trench. No hype, no to-the-moon nonsense. Just charts, discipline, and blood in the water. He's watching CR7, Playpin, Wobbles, Floki, Solana microcaps that swing 40% before breakfast. They're not trades, they're tests. You don't play them, you survive them. That's the trench mindset. Size small, move fast, never flinch. The waitress walks by again, smile brighter than the slot lights. She asks if he's ready for a drink. Triple X doesn't even look up, just grins at the screen and says, "Not yet, I'm still cooking." That's the difference between gamblers and professionals. Gamblers want to win. Professionals want to eat. The charts are tightening. Solana's flashing volume, stablecoins sliding back in, liquidity heating up. That's the moment. Most people panic in silence. Triple X comes alive. This is what he trains for. Pressure, uncertainty, chaos. He's not thinking about the steak dinner yet, but he knows if he nails this trade, that plate's going to hit the table sizzling. One click, precision entry, volume confirms. He's in the zone. The crowd laughs in the background, but the only sound that matters is the soft hum of profits ticking up. The green candles start climbing, slow, smooth, real. He doesn't react, doesn't celebrate. He's not chasing dopamine, he's chasing data. That's the magic of the trench. Everyone else is watching numbers. He's watching momentum breathe. This isn't about hype. It's about awareness. You learn to see what others miss. You move when others freeze. You collect when others pray. The move's clean. The setup hits. He closes it out, tidy, efficient, emotionless. And that's how it's done. No cheering, no bragging. Just a man, a plan, and precision execution. He leans back, exhales, finally looks up. The waitress passes again, and this time he nods. Yeah, he says with a grin. Now I'll take that drink and the steak too. That's the garage way. Grind first, eat after. The floor's still spinning, the table's still roaring, but Triple X is already done for the night. Cool, composed, mission accomplished. Because in the trench, you don't trade for thrill, you trade for results. No luck, no hype, just torque and timing. And when the dust settles, he's not the loudest guy in the room. He's the one who already cashed out. That's how you win here. That's how you eat. The lights dim, the screens fade. And the man himself closes the laptop. Another night in the trench, another meal earned. Now back at home base, the trench is quiet, and it's time for Lulu to do what she does best, cut through the noise and call it straight. The room's dark except for the glow of the charts. The candles are breathing, the moving averages humming like steady engines. This is where all the talking stops and the reading begins. Bitcoin, sitting tight around 103,000. She's watching that 20 EMA and 50 EMA. If they stay stacked, we cruise toward 1055. If they cross down, we drift right back toward 100 flat. Right now, it's balance on a knife's edge. The bulls have traction, but one slip and it's black ice all over again. Solana, showing strength, holding near 164. Short NAs still clean and rising. Long ones flattening out. That's the warm-up before the sprint. If Sol breaks 167, she sees 172 next. If it loses 161, look out below to 157. Lulu's words, hot engine, tight corners. Stay steady or you'll oversteer. Ethereum finally looks alive again, grinding higher through 3450. That 2050 crossover finally hit green. That's the gaslight turning off. If ETH can stay above that level, 3550's on deck. Lose 3410 and we roll back to 3380 for a retest. She calls this accumulation with attitude. Smart money's loading while everyone's still complaining. Cardano sitting quiet around 54 to 55 cents. The moving averages are tightening up. Think of it like the car's RPMs climbing before you drop a gear. Break 56 clean and it pops to 58.5 cents. Lose 53 and it slides to 50 even. The guardrails are close, Lulu says. When they tighten, the turn's coming. All four majors: Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Cardano. Same rhythm, same message. The market's waking up, but it's not awake yet. Short-term momentum's rising. Long-term structures still flat. That's not the party, that's the pregame. You keep your seatbelt on till the trend confirms. Lulu leans back, taps her hoof on the desk, and says it in that flat tone that's half calm, half warning. Charts don't lie. People do. And hey, if you're new here, let me break it down before you go quoting this like gospel. First off, none of this is financial advice. And second, yeah, Lulu, the head of technical analysis here in the garage, she's a pig. 4 hooves, 1 tail, and a talent for sniffing out resistance levels before the rest of the market even smells them. So if you're taking financial advice from a pig, well, that's